I just finished my video on Coinbase. Do you guys own it? I think it's a pretty interesting company. Obviously, most people probably know Coinbase is. It's just it's a website you can buy and sell crypto. But I always like to dig deeper and try to really understand the mechanics. How exactly do they make money, and like structurally how does it work? I mean, I think we could all understand how a car works. No one's gonna as long as you're 18, or even if you're a kid, we all know how a car works, the purpose of it. But to fix a car, or to build one, or to even change a part, that's not easy. That's kind of like what I do in my videos. I'm trying to build the car. I'm not just trying to understand the concept of how cars work, trying to actually build it from scratch, or at least attempt to. But let me know in the comments, because there might be some stocks you guys are looking at. I'm always curious if there's any interesting stocks that are trading at a pretty low earnings multiple, and we could look at those as well. I'll open up the 10Q. I just want to see if there's any thing on a website. So they're doing really well, Coinbase. Their numbers are improving dramatically. And there's really one reason why it's improving so much. Bitcoin. When Bitcoin goes up, the stock goes up. When Bitcoin goes down, the stock goes down. So it's almost like not even really trying to it's not even, you don't have to predict how the future of crypto is. You just have to figure out what will Bitcoin price be, and that's how you'll know what Coinbase's price will be. Even though Coinbase is a company, it's not a commodity, because any commodity is kind of worthless. You have to apply to something. Like gold, gold is worthless unless you do something with it. You have to, you can turn into jewelry, or maybe part of it goes into dentistry. Dentists use gold because it's a really strong material. So you have to apply to something. It's like any commodity. That's why a business, the value of the business is it generates cash. The purpose of the business is generate cash. Like a barrel of oil doesn't generate cash on its own. You have to do something with that oil to generate cash. But anyways, so I'm just going to show you the correlation between Coinbase and other cryptocurrencies, and they're pretty almost perfectly correlated. Did you ever take those classes? I think statistics, and if something is perfectly correlated with something, like it goes up when something goes up, it goes down when something goes down. Like income, the average American income and housing is correlated. The more income we make, the more money we make, the more we spend on housing or rent. Like if you make $50,000 a year at your job, you might live in a $2,000 apartment, right? But what if you made $500,000 a year? You're probably going to be probably a nice house. You probably buy one. But sometimes when we make more money, the opposite happens. The correlation works the other way. So maybe a type of food. I don't know, like what's the type of food people buy when they can't afford anything else? I'm not too sure. Let's just go with I think stake would be correlated to income. The more money you make, the more likely people are to buy stake, whether they buy more of it or they buy it in general. And when your income goes down, you're probably going to be buying things that are less expensive, like maybe pasta, for instance. But I guess I'm thinking of spam. I don't know if that's a good example though. But like maybe that works the opposite. The more money people make, the less spam that's purchased. Who are you talking to? Are you on a streaming site? Yeah, I'm on a streaming site. There's 9 people that are watching right now. I guess so. I'm talking to 9 people, and then if anybody watches this later on, it'll be taped. Let's investigate. So, I've never seen you before. I meant like Twitch. Oh, I see. No. I'm not on Twitch. That's not a bad idea. I've used Twitch before. I used to like it a lot. I used to watch video game streamers. I liked watching like video games when I was a kid, like Tyson's Punch Out, things like that. Do you follow stocks? Let's investigate. Because this is generally we talk about stocks. Usually, like I'm talking about Coinbase right now, or we talk about the economy as a whole. And I like the analogy I gave is it's kind of like a car. We've been investing. Oh, nice. Yeah, me too. Probably like almost exactly 25 years because my first investment was I was interning in the World Trade Center, Fire World Trade Center, in 1995 at Credit Suisse. That's when I bought my first stock. So 29 years ago. I didn't have much money then. It was just I always enjoyed it, like when in high school, reading about stocks. Do you know your first stock? The first stock you bought? Mine's Nordstrom. And the only reason I bought, I never even knew Nordstrom when I was a kid. When I was high school, I never even shopped there before. The only reason I bought it was that the investment bankers, I overheard one talking about Nordstrom. He go up for a few years. I thought stock market was a scam. It could be a scam if you don't know what you're doing. So Coinbase doubled. In the second quarter of 2023, revenue of $708 million. In the second quarter of 2024, they just released earnings, $1.4 billion. 707,911 to 1,449,628. Pretty nice growth, right? So that's a growth of 740 million. But percent-wise, that's massive. Was 105? Yeah, 105%. Dex, Daryl, what's up? So, it's like a broker, Coinbase. I use E-Trade to buy stocks. You can use. What do you guys use? What trading platform do you use to buy stocks? There's Robinhood. There's Fidelity. Is that stock that can make people millionaires? Are you sure you've been investing? You sound like a kid. Let's investigate. Or are you not American? It just sounds like you're like a. I'm not trying to make fun of you, but it just sounds like you're like a kid, like in middle school. Coinbase. So I use E-Trade to buy and sell stock. I started using E-Trade in 1999, right when I graduated. TD, Toronto Dominion Bank. So coin is like is just like these sites, E-Trade, but they buy and sell crypto. But they do make they make money on a volume of crypto. They charge a fee. So if you if Bitcoin was, I know it's not 10,000, was 10,000, and you bought one Bitcoin, right? That trade is worth $10,000. But if Bitcoin went up, which we know it did, to 50,000, and then you trade that one Bitcoin, that's a $50,000 trade. So their fees are correlated to the volume of Bitcoin or whatever crypto assets they're moving. Bitcoin happens to be 51%. Yeah, E-Trade, when I first started E-Trade, I don't even know if there was a way to transfer money. There probably was, but it's not like it is now. It's much easier. I remember I just walked down the street because I worked in Midtown Manhattan. I just walked down a block. It was on Park Avenue and 47th and Park. And I just gave them a check to open up my E-Trade account. It was even more archaic in the early 90s when I bought my first stock. I don't think there was any websites to buy and sell stock. Makes more money per transaction if crypto goes up in price and less crypto. Yeah, it's going to make more money in volume. That's why their revenue doubled, because the price of Bitcoin doubled in the same time frame. But they do make a little, for instance, if I buy and sell stock on E-Trade, E-Trade doesn't really care about the volume, how much money my stock is worth, because it's free. It's free now, right? The transactions are free. But Coinbase, it's a little different. And another thing is staking. Are you guys familiar with staking? They stake the Bitcoin or whatever the cryptocurrency. Not all crypto can be staked, though. But staking is like earning interest. So, remember when you were a kid, you put $10,000 into your savings account? I remember I got my bar mitzvah money, my paper route money. Robinhood is more for retail investors. Robinhood. What are you comparing though? Robinhood versus Coinbase? I mean, they're totally different things, right? Robinhood is mostly stocks, right? Buying stock. You could buy crypto too on some cryptocurrencies, but Coinbase is strictly crypto. It's not for stock trading. Yeah, so I remember when I had a paper route, so I would save. I get $50 a week, and then say it was 2% interest. Who knows what it was? But I think I got monthly interest. I remember when I got paid interest, I didn't know about it. It was because I had a checkbook, and I remember the first time I saw the interest, and I was asking my mother, "What is this?" I don't remember putting in $16, and she said that's interest. I go, "What do you mean interest? That's the money you get for putting money into the bank. That's kind of like your the fee you're paid." And I was like, "What?" I was like, "I just get money for free money?" Because just for leaving money in the account, I was so excited, and I always look forward to the interest, the monthly interest, to see what I got. But when you own crypto, say you have $10,000 of crypto, you can't earn interest on that. There's no. Oh, you talk about trading crypto? Yeah, definitely Robinhood is more for retail, everyday investors. But most of Coinbase's revenue is from consumer retail investors like me and you. Probably like 70% of their revenue. And 30% is probably from institutional investors, like bigger banks and bigger companies, things like that. I'll show you on their financials. So in terms of revenue, I would say it's like 70% consumer, or whatever you want to call it, like people like me and you, retail investors. And institutional, I would say it's 30% of. I mean, I'll go through their 10Q in more detail, but there's just a high level. This is another interesting thing too that I wanted to dive into. Musk could use X platform to put PayPal and Coinbase out of business. X networks could replace Coin and PayPal. In terms of volume, the amount of cryptocurrency traded, it's like swapped. It's 30%. The volume, the retail volume is 30%. Even though their revenue is 70% from retail, the volume of crypto traded is much more institutional. Maybe even more. I'm going to go 80-20. Did you know I wonder if you guys know this. I talked about it in my videos. I bought on Coinbase. It was second coin they had besides Bitcoin. God, it's so slow. Did you know the original PayPal, there was a company called PayPal. The predecessor to the company was I'm not a big fan of Coinbase. Neither am I. I mean, I don't really invest in crypto. So this is how PayPal got started. It was back in 1998. There was a company that was started by Peter Thiel. He was an early investor in Facebook. He's like a big, huge billionaire investor. So Peter Thiel, a couple other guys, Max Levchin and Luke Nosek. Not too familiar with them too. But in 1998, they had this company, Confinity, which was a payment processing company. They processed online payments. Oh, no, wait. No, the Confinity, it developed security software for handheld devices. The company. Okay, so Thiel and Peter Thiel and two other guys, they started this company that wasn't too successful. It wasn't really making much money in 1998. So they changed the business model to focus on a digital wallet, which is kind of like what PayPal is. That was the first version of PayPal in 1999. In 2000, the following year, that company, Confinity, Peter Thiel's company, merged with X.com. This was back in 2000, 24 years ago, way before Twitter. So Confinity and X.com merged together. X.com was an online financial services company founded by Elon Musk in 1999. So Elon Musk founded X.com in 1999. So these four guys came together, they merged, and they wanted to grow as a company together. Musk was optimistic about the future of the money transfer business that Confinity was developing, like Peter Thiel's company. So he was very bullish on this idea. Musk and Bill Harris, they were the president and CEO of X.com. Okay. But they disagreed about a lot of things, as people do. When people come together, whether it's a business relationship or a personal relationship, like when a guy meets a girl, and there's always disagreements, right? So they disagreed about the potential future of the business, and Harris left the company in 2000. So I'm not too familiar with Bill Harris. So he left the company. They just weren't, it wasn't gelling. And then October of that year, of 2000, Musk decided that X.com would terminate its other internet banking operations and focus on payments. So he just wanted to go all in on the PayPal concept, Musk. He thought it was such a great idea. So in the same month, Elon Musk out of his own company. That's what happens. That's what happens sometimes. And Peter Thiel took over. This is 24 years ago. And then they renamed the company PayPal in 2001. It went public in 2002. And you probably know the rest. They got acquired by eBay for $1.5 billion. They were part of eBay for a decade. For 12 years, they were part of eBay up till 2014. And then eBay spun it off into its own publicly traded company. So in 2014, can you guys hear me? Okay. He pushed for the spinoff because it's all about making money, right? He saw the value of PayPal being separate from eBay, because for a long time, pretty much all the activity, all the revenue generated from PayPal was from eBay sales. Anytime somebody bought something on eBay, whether it was an auction or buy it now, PayPal would be responsible for moving the money. So it's interesting, right? And then just like 2 years ago, Elon Musk changed the name of Twitter to X. But the X was around a long time. He had this company since like 99 or something. 3 months or shorter. Most of my money right now is in short-term T-bills. I don't understand why people put money in stuff like that. It's just throwing your money away. Do you have no faith in the market? Do you think it's going to crash? I know a lot of people who've been saying that. They put funds into money market. They're like, I got 5% on my money market. I'm like, they're like, oh, 5%. I guaranteed, 5% is a great guaranteed investment when interest rates were like 1%. But I'm like, in the past 18 months, I'm up like 150% on my stocks. So that's like 30 years at 5%. It's kind of like throwing your money away when we're in such a big bull market. But anyways, I keep getting on these tangents, then I can't even finish anything. Elon thinks big and long term. I'm wondering what X will evolve into under the new leadership. I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, yeah, he's brilliant and everything like that, but I don't know what it's going to turn into. I mean, I don't have too much faith in it. I mean, it seems like it's a hobby for him. So what I was saying, when you have money in a bank account, you earn interest on it. That's the compensation you receive for leaving your money in a bank account. But when you have crypto sitting in a wallet, you don't earn interest on crypto, but you could stake it. You could stake crypto, and by staking it, you can get more of those crypto assets. Obviously, the more crypto you have, the more you can get by staking. So, I mean, the technical terms is, so crypto staking is locking your digital tokens to a blockchain network in order to earn rewards. Yeah, they call them rewards. I think that's what even Bitcoin, Coinbase calls them. I'll show you. So usually a percentage of the tokens are staked. So staking crypto is also how token holders earn the right to participate in proof of stake blockchains. So without getting too technical, because it could get real confusing trying to explain stuff, but I just think of it like interest in your bank account. When you leave cash at a bank, they have to pay you something. So they pay you interest, whether it's probably 3-4%, interest rates are higher, but at one point it was 0.1% because interest rates are so low. So that's what crypto is. It's kind of like earning interest, but you're not getting any interest cash. You're getting more crypto. You got to get that interest. Exactly. You definitely have to get the interest. I just posted 2 4-minute videos, and I've been posting like long videos between 30 and 60 minutes, but it takes forever. Like it takes me literally like a week to do some of these videos. I spend 2-3 hours a day editing them. So let me just show you. There's no like deep dive analysis to figure out the price of Coinbase. It's very straightforward. I'll show you. What are your favorite cryptocurrencies? Let me know in the comments, and I could do a comparison. Well, Tether is just moves with the Tether is like a USD stable coin, so it's going to move with the price of Ethereum. Yeah, I got Ethereum. Solana, that's a good one. Solana. Solana looks really good. It hasn't even been trading for 5 years. This chart is when what's it called? Coinbase started publicly trading. So Coinbase started publicly trading in April 2021. So the light blue line is Coinbase. Coinbase is down 32% since it started trading. It's almost exactly slightly over 3 years. 3 years and 3 months it's been trading. So it's down 32%. Bitcoin is up 2%. And Ethereum is down 7%. But you can see how they move together pretty much in the same fashion. They're not perfectly correlated, but they're highly correlated. Just like if you looked at a gold mining company and the price of gold, they're very similar. They move together. Maybe one is more volatile than the other. Like obviously, Bitcoin and Ethereum are more volatile than Coinbase, but they definitely have a very similar pattern. But this is since it started trading. Let's go the past 2 years. It gets tighter. It should get tighter, the pattern, at different points. And this is the past 2 years. So the past 2 years, Bitcoin's up 167%. Gold miners don't move with gold. What do you mean gold miners don't move with gold? Of course they move with gold. They're correlated to gold. Every commodity is correlated. Pick a few gold miners and I can show you. Ethereum is up 77% in 2 years. Coinbase is up 120%. So you can see how they move in a similar fashion. In the past year, Ethereum is not doing. Ethereum seems to be lagging Bitcoin and also Coinbase. Coinbase is up 111% in the past year. This is year to date, 6 months. So there's no guesswork in the price of Coinbase. Yes, it is a company that generates cash flow, but it pretty much just moves with Bitcoin. If Bitcoin goes up a ton, even if Coinbase loses a lot of money, like they make some bad decisions, say they open up a factory, they open up an office building in China and they open up another office building in Japan. So they're trying to get offices around the world, and it doesn't turn out well. They just end up closing the offices for whatever reason. So obviously their profits will go down because they're spending more money. You'd be surprised. Let's investigate. Doesn't matter if they're pulling any gold or a ton of gold out of the ground. I'm just saying they move together. I'm not saying like even if a company has losses, big losses, it's going to move with the commodity. But the thing is, a commodity can't go to zero. It can't go bankrupt. Gold can't go to zero. A business can go to zero. A business could shut down if it makes poor decisions. Okay, let me just try to show you what I mean. It doesn't. And okay, so this red line is the price of gold, and the blue line is Barrick Gold. So it seems like Barrick Gold is a little more volatile than gold. Here's 5 years. But you have to understand, this is not a pure play gold company. This is not Barrick Gold does a lot of things besides gold. I bet you they have a huge like if you just look at a pure play gold mining company, it's gonna move with the price of gold. But if you're looking at a company that like it produces gold and copper, I'm sure they have a lot of other things. So if you somehow smash the copper and gold and whatever other commodities, you smash them all together, then you get Barrick Gold. But it's not a pure play. If you look at a pure play gold mining company, then it's going to move pretty much with gold. But if you pick a Okay. But some of these companies start like, it's kind of like Hershey's. Hershey's stock price is correlated to the price of cocoa. But some companies, even if they have the name of what they do, I think there was like even if they had the word gold in the name, some companies do mostly silver mining, for instance. They may start out with that name. That's what makes it a little more challenging. But right, I'm not saying it's 100% correlated, but there is definitely correlation. But what's it called? Coinbase is a company. It generates profits, but it does move really closely to the price of Bitcoin. But let me know in the comments if anybody wants me to look at a different type of company. So total revenue for second quarter is 1.4 billion. This is back to Coinbase. Right now it moves with Bitcoin, but that could change. It definitely could change. Yeah, I'm just saying in the short term, even now, since it's been trading, it's pretty much moving with Bitcoin. But it's like Coca-Cola when they started pretty much just selling Coca-Cola. And then they added other soft drinks. Now they sell like, potato chips. It evolves. It's more of a conglomerate, not a pure play soda company. So 780 million of transaction revenue. So whenever people buy and sell crypto on a platform, they take a fee. That's the main way they make money. But they make quite a bit of money outside of transaction revenue. See, consumers, we pay 664 million in fees to Coinbase. So the consumer, pays 91% of the transaction fee revenue. Institutions, 9%. But look at the volume. Coke was a better play than, Coke is a bottling company. They're actually separate companies. It's interesting, right? AMD looks like for the week. Yeah, let's look at AMD. I just want to show you this last thing because I think it's interesting. It's good to understand these things because when things change in the macro environment, when things adjust, like interest rates go up, interest rates go down, certain countries' currency devalue. When that happens, then you could tie it to things like this. So the trading volume consumers, like, regular people like me and you, just in the second quarter, we traded 37 billion of crypto, and institutions did 226 billion. So if I buy $5,000 of Bitcoin, that's part of this 37 billion. So consumers make up 16% of the trading volume, the amount of crypto moved on Coinbase's platform. Yet we pay 91% of the fees. So most of the fees, at least the transaction fees that Coinbase receives, 91% is from consumers, even though we only move 16% of the volume. Doesn't seem fair, right? Because if I don't know their rates, but I'm making up things. So say I move I buy $1,000 of crypto on through Coinbase. So they may charge $10. It's 1%. Does anybody know the actual percentages? And let's say a big company moves 10 million, buys 10 million of crypto. Well, they're not going to pay 1% because they're a big company and they're moving a lot. So they may pay like 0.001%. Obviously, I'm making this up because I don't know the exact. Just trying to give you an idea. So they pay $100 in fees for moving $10 million of crypto. So they're paying 10 times the fees as I'm paying, but they're moving a lot more than 10x I'm moving. So of the trading, okay, so 35% of the volume is Bitcoin. It's down. It was 40%. Now it's 35%. I wonder, this will probably go back up at some point because Bitcoin is the most obviously the most common crypto, but I think it's the most trusted. I think if I was going to buy a cryptocurrency asset, like I had to buy it, I probably want to buy Bitcoin because I feel the future Bitcoin is going to be around. They'll be around for a long time. But if you ask me to buy a stock, I'm probably not going to buy a stock of a company that is struggling because it might go out of business, unless I was looking to day trade, of course. But if I'm looking for a long-term investment, I would definitely go with Bitcoin. I own $225 of Bitcoin. The second most common in terms of volume is Ethereum, and then the USDT stablecoin, the Tether stablecoin. USDT is stablecoin, so it's pegged to the US dollar. So the US dollar goes up, so does USDT, but it doesn't move much. It's pretty much just flat because the US dollar doesn't move. But they don't really make much in fees in USDT. It's 10% of their revenue, but it doesn't even show up in fees. Solana is 10% of Coinbase's fees. That's why I always try to understand how companies make money, because it's not always how you think. I'll be right back. I agree. Coin could go up tenfold or down to nil. It's just like JPM or is in like Kodak. Not really clear. It just moves with Bitcoin at this point. It pretty much moves with Bitcoin. Okay, so of the 1.4 billion of revenue, of the 1.4 billion, 449,628. So 54% of their revenue is transaction fees. The rest, well, not the rest, but most of the rest, almost 600 million from subscriptions and services. Kevin, anytime the time I buy stocks is if I have money. If I have money, I buy stocks. If I don't have money, I don't buy stocks. That's pretty much how I know if I buy stocks. I don't sit and try to time the market. I generally, if I have money, like extra money from like work, or I just run into some money, maybe I got a big tax return, I invest it all. And I usually put it into like the S&P 500 index if I'm not sure. And then I might, if there's like a good opportunity, like a stock I really like goes down a lot, I may start picking that up. But I always invest. Like I go through these, like in my wife's account, I've been investing all our dividends in Microsoft. I'm trying to build up a position of Microsoft. So I go through these like I'll spend like a year of anytime I have extra cash, like the dividends, I mean, or if I get a few thousand extra, I put into Meta. So sometimes I just build up a position. I don't like to sell stock in a company unless I lose faith in a company. But when I buy it, I like to hold for as long as I can. CrowdStrike, yeah, I know. I made a lot on CrowdStrike. I sold it, but okay. So about 40% of their revenue, come on, is what is this? Is subscriptions and services, which is a little different than most brokers. Most brokers don't charge a subscription fee. Like at a gym, you pay a monthly fee to be a member of the gym. It's kind of like Coinbase. You pay a monthly fee. Stablecoin is their biggest revenue generator. That's from USDT, stablecoin. It's surprising they make so much revenue from stablecoin, right? Because they can charge a fee. Because it's kind of like if I buy $10,000 of US dollars, I can't get charged a fee. It's just cash. If I go to the bank and say, give me 10,000 of cash, I'm not going to get charged a fee of 2% just to take cash out. It's US dollars. So they can't charge a fee, but you do have to pay like maybe a monthly subscription to have the ability to buy stablecoin. So here they talk about it in case they collect interest on it. Yeah, exactly. Stablecoin revenue. So this is how you learn about. This is how I got good at reading these reports. Is just kind of like going back and forth, like reading about it. Because you might think you know what like stablecoin revenue is, but then when you read it, you learn a lot more. Not only do you learn more about what stablecoin revenue is, you might learn about other things. So we derive stablecoin revenue from our arrangement with the issuer of USDC. So Tether, right, is the issuer of USDC. Does anybody invest in Tether or USDC? Tether, they usually just call Tether USDT. Sometimes they don't even say Tether anymore. It's a cryptocurrency stablecoin launched by the company in 2014. So it's 10 years old, so it's been around a while. It's never been audited, blah, blah. Tether has reserves of 6.3 billion. Coinbase cheaper than Kraken now. Nice. So you might be wondering, what is like, how does being pegged to the US dollar, why wouldn't you just buy US dollars? Why buy Tether? Because Tether is a cryptocurrency, and cryptocurrencies are much more efficient than fiat currencies. I mean, if somebody's doing something illegal, they'd rather buy this than a traceable currency like US dollars or British pound. But obviously, I'm not going to be talking about illegal stuff. But I'm just saying, if someone like me or you, why would you buy Tether? Because when you transfer money, like when you buy something online with a credit card or your checking account, you have to wait usually a day or two for it to clear, and you have to pay fees to like PayPal or whatever credit Visa. You have to pay fees. The great thing about crypto is it's much smoother process. Usually fees are eliminated. There's no waiting days. So it's just more efficient. In 2021, they were fined by regulators for only maintaining reserves of 28%. I use Coinbase for cheaper fees, and you stake Sol. That's awesome. Yeah. So it's amazing they make so much. I wouldn't have thought that. We are on pro rata share of income earned on USDC reserves. Okay. So based on the reserves of USDC they have, they earn fees off of that. So if you have $10,000 of Tether in Coinbase, let's just say, I don't know what the fees would be. Did someone say it? Say you got 3%. I guess of interest. Is it called interest? Or say you got 3% of interest. This company, Coinbase, would take maybe 10% of that. So maybe Coinbase would get $30, you would get $270. But this Coinbase has billions of dollars of all these cryptos in the reserve, so it adds up. So they earn a pro rata share of the income earned on the reserves and from the distribution and usage after expenses. So I guess the trading or buying and selling. Income derived by us from this arrangement is dependent on various factors. The total, okay. So I'm just shocked they earned so much on stablecoin, but $240 million, which is about 70% higher than last year. Blockchain rewards is like staking, 185 million. So yeah, they do a proof of stake service. So they stake your Bitcoin on a blockchain network, so you can earn more. Well, not your Bitcoin, whatever cryptocurrency that is stakeable. This allows customers to earn rewards from the network while maintaining ownership of their assets. So 185 million on staking, and that more than doubled from last year. They also earn money on interest and finance fee income, 69 million. So they earn interest on their customers' custodial accounts. They also earn 35 million of custodial fee revenue. This is just for the quarter. Custodial fee revenue is revenue based on the percentage of the crypto assets they hold. Does anybody know what this is within our cold storage solutions? I saw that earlier. I didn't know what that meant. Cold storage solutions. What is cold storage? It's a facility where temperatures are low, so the perishable products can last longer, and you can get your products right throughout the year. Okay, I'm not sure what that has to do with crypto, but because crypto is not, it's not like you're buying like food. Or do you have to? Is like crypto mining has to be in a cold facility? Is that why? And then other cold storage is offline. Oh, okay. Cold storage. Offline storage, also known as cold storage, is a way to hold and manage digital assets securely, completely offline and away from the internet. See, I learn something new every day, right? Cold as an offline. I knew it was something, like, just didn't make sense to me. This implies that offline devices or wallets don't have an active connection to the internet. Well, that makes sense, because it's more secure than out there in the open where people can like get into it or hack it. I was just listening to Coinbase conference call. Oh, really? That's and then they have other revenue and corporate interest and other revenue. $70 million. It's good to understand what all this stuff is, even though like just it gives you more insight into whether the company is a good investment or not. And you might not understand it the first. It took me about like 50 attempts to really understand this stuff. Like, you just keep reading it, and sometimes it's just in one ear out the other. Other revenue increase, reflecting an increase. Okay, so the other revenue is interest rates, higher interest rates on corporate balances. I guess that's what other revenue is. Maybe 1% of my portfolio is in crypto ETFs and stocks. That said, I haven't identified a single situation in my life where crypto saves me money or effort. That's a percentage of my crypto assets, 0.00001%. I own $215 of Bitcoin. I bought Bitcoin a few years ago only because I was playing poker on this website, And if I wanted to transfer, I needed to put money into the website to play the poker. And if I used credit card, it was like a 10% fee. And crypto, I think it was no fee or like real low, like 2%. So I bought money on Coinbase and transferred it to that website. But I transferred all the money from Coinbase to that poker website, but I bought it on Venmo. I bought $100 of Bitcoin, but I never transferred it. It was over 200. Can you hear me now? Okay, you're black. You're back. I don't know why it does that. What the hell? It's so hard to do this. So I bought 100 of Bitcoin. I don't know when. Like 2 years ago. Last five, or maybe 2 weeks ago when I did the video. And now it's 198. I'm up almost 100%. I did have a business when I started the channel. And then I sold the business to focus on the channel. And then I just wasn't enjoying that. And I wasn't really making much money either. So now I got a job. I started a new job 4 months ago. I'm like the CFO of a real estate developing company. It's really interesting. I like it a lot. We develop real estate in the Bay Area. And I'm kind of like doing the finance stuff. I'm learning a lot. Like I didn't, you never really could understand something until you do it for a living or do it a lot. Like if you want to get really good at like basketball, you can't like watch basketball, and you can't do it like once a month. You got like every day you have to shoot hoops or play with other people, and it just like after the repetition of doing it so much. So it's kind of like if you want to learn how to develop real estate, you're probably not going to get much out of YouTube videos. You maybe if you watch a video, within the first hour of watching the video, you can maybe talk about it, but a week later you'll forget everything you watched. You're a retired CPA. That's awesome. Oh, so you're retired. You're done with work. I did retire in 2022 after I sold my business, but I was bored to death, so I needed to like. So then I got some bookkeeping jobs to fill up my time. If you want to grow online in the investment community, you got to do it on Twitter. John stocks on Spaces and talk about stocks there, and people will discover. I don't know about that. I mean, I've tried so many things, and I paid a lot of people, consultants. Everybody's like, I'll get you famous. They give me all these ideas, and then nothing ever really works. Well, I'm not that young either, so you're probably what, in your 70s, 60s maybe. ACLS. Yeah, so I just did bookkeeping jobs at different companies in the area. And then and like 3.5 months ago, I started at this real estate developing firm. It's really interesting. It's like we're on a ground level of we're working on a lot of projects at once. Some of them are getting close to completion. We're building, we're creating the infrastructure for like different types of businesses, like hotels or fast food restaurants, or some apartment buildings. It's intense. Okay, 106, 3.5. Axelis Technologies. Axelis. Oh, there's no future. So in the past, they're cash flow positive, so that's good. Well, I'm right there. I'm at 108. They're 106. People want to trade or gamble in stocks. Unfortunately, they aren't interested in investing. Yeah, it's a long-term game. You can't really make money day trading. And only people who make money day trading are lying that they made money or they got lucky. Like they had a few trades, they made good money, but they're gonna lose it eventually. Because you generally, it's kind of like the way I think of day trading is kind of like a simpler way. Like you play roulette and you choose black or red, and even if it's not 50-50 because of the greens, right? So it's like 49% black, 49% chance of red, and then 2% chance of the green. But let's just pretend it's 50-50. There's no green, even though that would never happen because the house has to have the advantage. So you put $100 on black, and if it hits, you're like, awesome. Then you put another 100 down. But let's say you put 100 on black and it misses. So then you're like, okay, let me do 200 to make up for it. And if that misses, you're like, okay, I got to do 400 to make up for it. But regardless of whether you win or lose, you're always gonna you always push it. You're always like, okay, I won 10,000. I won 10,000 today. You're like, I'm just gonna do 5,000 on black. I'm just gonna do one big one. But there's no it's all guesswork. There's no logic. And eventually you just lose all the money. I guess if you went into it, because it is 50-50, so with the green, it's like a 49% chance of winning. So mathematically, you cannot win in the long term playing this game. What's the difference between swing trading and day trading? I made a lot trading Tesla in the last 2 years. When it goes down 10%, I buy. There's always situations when I make money or I lose money on short-term trades, but it's impossible to consistently do it on a long-term basis. Because if you buy a stock and you have no idea, like, even if the company is doing great, even if everybody's making money on Nvidia, you could still lose a ton of money. Like, if you bought it like when it was above 130, like, everybody kept saying, "Oh, I'm not touching it because it's gone up too much," and then it doubles in price, and you're like, "Oh, why didn't I just buy it? I could have doubled my money." And I'm making like 5% on everything else. I could have doubled it, and then it goes up another 50%. Still not advised. So, like, how do you know that, even if a company's making a ton of money, like Nvidia, if you just happen to buy it when it's above 130, it may not get back up there. Maybe it will never get back up there, or maybe it'll take a few years. Who knows? Can we talk about coin? What is Axelis Technologies? Let's see what they do. Axelis Technologies is an American company engaging in design, manufacture, and servicing of capital equipment of semiconductor manufacturing. So they support semiconductors. It produces ion implantation systems, including high and medium current implanters. So they're pretty new. They've been around since 95, 29 years. AC. Well, they're in the semiconductor equipment and materials, so that they support semiconductor companies, right? They don't actually make semiconductors. Well, if you got it, they did a reverse stock split. Like, when a company did a reverse stock split, because no company starts out at $100 a share. So they had to do a reverse to make it appear that it was $100. So they did a 1-for-4 reverse stock split in 2016. So it was trading at 25 at IPO. That was its highest point ever, IPO. Oh, no. No, it reached its high last year. It hit 160, 180 maybe. That was the peak, 180. Imagine buying this company way back then in 2000, and after 15 years, you just give up because you lost like 90% of your investment. And then the stock goes up like 5,000%. It got real low. Like, it was like $10 in 2016. Even in 2020 at the COVID lows, it was still like 14. Then it got pretty high. Look at that run up from 95 to 150, and now it's coming back down. Yeah, being a day trader, it's not just too stressful. You just can't make money. Like, there's no way to, like, even if you hit big on a stock, like you put $10,000 and then you 10x to $100,000, you're never going to be happy. Like, there's never a point when you're like, okay, I'm set. Then you want to put more money. So you put, like, you have 100,000 now instead of 10,000, and you put 20,000 on something, and you keep trying to, like, if you lose money, you keep trying to fix it. You keep trying to replace your losses by putting more money down. Because if you catch a good run up, you can make a ton of money, but you can lose it all if the market goes down for like 6 months or a year. I did a video on recently. They're like like Intel. They're a fabless and a foundry. So 29 billion. Another stock, like, it came out in 2000, and look how much it struggled. So in 2000, not that you would hold the stock for 2 decades, but if you bought in 2000, you had to wait 17 years to make a profit, which nobody would have waited 17 years. But if you held out, you could have had a good return. In 23 years, quadrupling your money, it went over 100. Yeah, like you could have 300% your investment, which is pretty good for 2 decades. I think. I don't know. You don't need to wait if you dollar cost average. I guess if you dollar cost average, but I've tried that strategy, and after a while, I lost so much money on the stock. Like, if you dollar cost average on this one, like, unless you picked up a lot at the bottom, and you somehow waited 7 years, like, it just takes so long. Because from 2000, so the first 18 months was just downhill. So if you put like 10,000 here, 10,000 here, 10, like, not many people. I don't think I would have. I did it with Accelera. I dollar cost average down, and I end up losing so much money. Clove earnings tomorrow. The stock is bonkers since you last reviewed this one 2-3 years ago. So what's the Clover Health? Oh, that's an old video. It was so bad, I couldn't even value it. There was only negative free cash flow with this company. Daryl, you never sell at a loss, but you may run out of money if you keep dollar cost averaging down, unless you have like infinite amount of money. Of course, if you pick like a stock like Amazon and you dollar cost average, you'd be a billionaire. But 99% of stocks don't go anywhere. They go bankrupt or just don't move much. So you can only, like I'm saying, dollar cost averaging, how many stocks can you do that to? Like how many stocks can you constantly put money in every time it drops? You would need a ton of money. It would be hard to sustain that. That's what I want to do, but like if you like say you just pick once a year for a stock. Okay. And you invest 10,000 shares. So let's say it's $25 a share. So you buy 400 shares at $25. Say it's a new company, IPOs. And let's say it goes down to like 16. So you pick up another 600 more shares. And let's say it goes down to 8. Now you get a lot of shares. You get 1,200 shares because it's gone down. And let's say it's 3. You got 3,000 shares. This is generally what happens when I try to do this, my strategy. I try to dollar cost average. So I just own a lot of shares of a crappy stock. So now I own 5,600 shares. So I invested $40K. So now I have $16,000 of this stock at a $3 cost basis. Well, if the stock is $3 each, then I have $16,000 worth of the stock. And I put $40,000 in. The DCA works fine if the stock goes up. But I did some with the Accelera. I sold out, but like I put in like 10,000. I think I have it on my phone. Yeah, in July 2021, it makes me sick to look at it. So 615 shares and a price per share. This is going to bother me just doing this. 1621. Yeah, so it was 10,000. July 2021. January 2022. I bought 1,070 shares. 973. Another 10,000. June 2023, 3,450 shares at 643. Oh God, what a waste. November 2023. Uh, 731 shares at 462. Another 8,000. What a waste of money. So 50,000 I put into it, and I think I sold it for like what is it now? I think it was around $4 a share. So I put 50,000 into it, and I sold it for 27,000. So I just lost 50%. Like, at what point do you stop putting money into it? That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't really DCA either. This was one of the few times I tried it. I'm like, I want to hit like a big amount of money. Like, I want to hit like a $10 million. I want to like if I could have invested in like these companies before they become big. But eventually you just can't sustain it anymore. And it just seems like you're just throwing away money. But that's part of the game, you know? You take these risks. But I generally don't dollar cost average. Usually I just buy and hold. Okay, so Axelis. So they designed the equipment that Taiwan Semiconductor uses to make semiconductor chips. Almost $1 billion of revenue. That wasn't my worst investment. My worst investment was ASAP. Remember ASAP? It's not even public anymore. What's that company? They went bankrupt. Waiter. It's zero. Look at that. Oh my God. That was my worst investment. Okay, Waiter. I was up too when I first bought it. I bought it. They did a reverse stock split. Can't remember when I bought it. I think around 2022. It's a SPAC. Yeah, I paid $1.19. It's hard to tell because they did a reverse stock split. I put like 60,000 into it, and I sold it for 20,000. But the reason I sold it was because Netflix came down so much in price. So I put like 25,000 or whatever it was into Netflix. Come on. So in January 2022, so Netflix was 700 at the peak. I always wanted to get Netflix. I wanted to get it a long time ago, but I never bought it. And it ran up to 700. So look at this. I wanted to get it like back here in like 2013, 14, 15. I didn't pull the trigger. And it went up 700. I was like, oh boy, God, I could have bought it at 700. I mean, so I totally missed it. And then it went, and I bought it for 388 in January 2022. And then right away, I'm down 50%. So it went from 388 to like 180, 190. So I put my 30,000 from Waiter into Netflix, and it's down 50% right away. But now I'm up a lot on Netflix. Well, I mean, I wanted the dollar cost average down on this, but I didn't. I was too scared. I have too much money in there. But I had faith in Netflix. I wasn't concerned. So it came right back up. So I'm up like 60% in my Netflix. See, okay, because I own it currently. So in Netflix in January, I bought 113 shares at 386. Then the next month, I bought 5 more shares at 434. But I'm up 58%. So that just shows you, like, all the money I lost in Waiter, I got it back in Netflix. So obviously, I wish I just put into Netflix and never put in Waiter, but you make mistakes. I should have put it all into Costco. That's up even more, 130%. But I wish I dollar cost average down Netflix. I could have really hit a home run. But most of the money I made in stock market was not picking stocks of companies people didn't know about. I wanted to find a company that no one knew about and buy a lot of it and then make a massive return. But most of the money I made were really good companies that just I got a good price. Like Meta. Meta was always pretty popular of a company, but I picked up a lot in 2017 at 150 a share. How much money would you estimate over the course of your investing journey? What does that mean? How much would I estimate? How much money would you estimate? Oh, I lost. I mean, it's hard to say. I guess like 200,000-300,000 maybe. But that's kind of like, I used to be kind of a in my 20s, I used to do little, like pretty risky stuff. Like I would do a lot of options trading, a lot, buying cheap stocks, trying to but my biggest losses were like Waiter. I lost like maybe 40,000 on Waiter. I did pick it back up on Netflix, which was nice. But it's just the risk you take. You got to make money too, of course, to have the ability to. I mean, in terms of dollars, my most biggest return is Berkshire. So yeah, I got in 2017. Like once again, in 2017, Berkshire has been around for like 30, 40 years. So I got in 2017. It was probably trading at an all-time high at that point. It's not. I didn't even get it at a discount. I just wanted to own it. And then, oh no, I got it March 2017. So I got it right here, March 2017. And right away, I was up like 30, 40%. And then COVID hit, I'm down 10%. So I'm like, what a terrible investment. But so in terms of dollars, it's my best investment because it's at 640. So I'm up like 260. I'm up like 380K on that, 146%. But in percentage wise, when Nubank, I was up the most in percentages. So I got it for 424. It's come down though. In June 2022, 424. I got real lucky. I caught it almost at the bottom. I got it right down here. It did fall below 4 at one point, like 350, but it IPO'd at 12, and then it was down to like 4. I picked up at 4. It's come down a bit. Okay, that was up 225%. A couple weeks ago. A couple weeks ago, it was like 1350. 218%. But now it's only up 158%. I made the same mistake in my 20s. I am 30 now and no longer try to find hidden gems or stocks. JPM. Yeah, keep it simple. It's fine to put, a few thousand into these penny stocks. But we always try to I feel like I want to make like millions of dollars. And so I put a lot of money into a penny stock, like I did with Accelera. So I kept putting more into it because you look at a stock like Nvidia and you're like, if I have $10,000, like Nvidia, even in 20, this is stock split adjusted, so it looks weird. So in 2019, it was $6, not that long ago. So it went up 16x. So it went up 16 times, 600%. So if you put 10,000 into Nvidia in 2019, I mean, you could have got it for really low in 2012, 13. But even 2019, 5 years ago, you put 10K to Nvidia, you'd have 160,000. Okay, Daryl, thanks a lot. And then you're like, you know, if a stock like Nvidia goes down again, I'm going to put 100,000 in. And then you'd like, I would have had 1.6 million. We know how to get rich. The sad news is it's slow. Yeah, it's slow. Well, I'm the working class. I worked my whole life and built up a nest egg. Because even if you put $10,000 into 10 different stocks. So even if you picked Nvidia as one of the 10, you know, unless you made a lot of money in the other stocks, but chances are you probably lose a little on the other stocks. Lots of dollars in tree. Lost lots of dollars in tree. A lending tree. Yeah, it's a low market cap. It's been around a long time. So in 2008, $10. Well, it got really high before COVID. Well, this is a long time before COVID in 2019. 415, and it fell to 280. And now it's 48. I don't really invest in railroad stocks. What's a good railroad stock? I don't know. ASAP was an American online and mobile prepared. Oh, so it's done now, waiter? It's out of business? Oh, they did chapter 7. Okay, so it's done. So it's chapter 7. Chapter 7 is liquidation. Chapter 11 is reorganization. Union Pacific. I don't know. I invest in railroads through Berkshire Hathaway. Did you see Berkshire said they're going to sell half their Apple? That's crazy, right? Apple's going to go down a lot. Warren Buffett's Berkshire sold nearly half its stake in Apple. It's a big stake, right? Because they own about 10% of Apple. he dumped nearly half of a gigantic Apple stake last quarter. Oh, last quarter. Oh, I thought that was last week. $84 billion of Apple. Even after the selling Apple, what the hell kind of? So it's still the largest stock in his portfolio, Apple. Even though he sold half of it, it's still the largest. Because I think he owned like 200. He owned like 200 billion of Apple. They have almost $300 billion of cash, which is crazy, right? Yeah, he sold 13% in the first quarter. I remember that. But I guess Buffett noted that selling after declining in the first quarter on concerns it was falling behind AI, Apple shares took off in the second quarter. Yeah, Apple did well in the second quarter. In the first quarter, they were down. They were like of the Mag 7s, they were the only one that was like down. You see, it started the year at 192, Apple, and then it was down like 10, 15% in May. It finally went up recently. But all the other Mag 7s, like Amazon was doing really well, but they're down like 20% after the second quarter earnings. And Amazon did their second quarter earnings were decent. So year to date, Apple and Microsoft are up about 9%. Apple was down like almost 15%. And now they're all in the same spot. Google's up 19%. Yeah, that's a good point. With the election, Facebook should make a ton of money in ad revenue. Google too. But Facebook, I think, has a lot of people in like their 30s, 40s, and 50s on Facebook. Like when you go to Instagram or like Snap, most people are like in their 20s or teens. Facebook, it has the best audience because it's the most popular social media app still in terms of users. Oh, this is 2020. This is 2022. Okay, so this is 2022. It's a little more recent. So Facebook is still number one. They are growing in the US, Facebook, in terms of users, but they're growing a lot more in Asia. Asia seems to be, Facebook users are growing at like a 20% rate annual. In US and Canada, it's like 8 to 10% growth in users. So it's nearly 3 billion monthly active users on Facebook. Google's YouTube is second, 2.5 million. But Meta owns the next three: WhatsApp, Instagram, and Messenger, so they have like a lock on social media. They own 4 out of the top 5 biggest social media platforms. And then a lot of Chinese companies are down here, like WeChat, Douyin, QQ, Snap. Pinterest is American. Twitter is American. Reddit's American. I don't know about Quora. I don't know who owns that. Okay, that's American too. It's a social question answer. Amazon got killed. And the thing is, they had a really good numbers. So their Amazon sales went from 134 billion, that's in 2Q23, to 148 billion. So it's a good jump, a good growth. Not like Meta's growth. Meta went up like 22%, but it's about 10%. But I think more important is their operating income. In North America, sales went from 82 billion to 90 billion, but operating income went from 3 billion to 5 billion. So operating income went up 60%. This is e-commerce. So when they sell items on their Amazon website in North America. But international, it went up. Sales didn't go up that much. Sales went from 30 billion to 32 billion. But they finally have profit, operating profit. It's small, but it's not a loss. They've been running at a loss international for a while. And their bread and the source of all their cash flow and their future is Amazon Web Services. Sales went from 22 to 26 billion, and it was all profit. Operating income went from 5 billion to 9 billion. Expenses were flat, and they added 4 billion of revenue. Like it's just, they had a really good quarter. Just the stock went down a lot because I guess it was it's supply and demand. It doesn't matter if you have a good quarter or a bad quarter. It's the price of your stock. And it was just too high. Because I guess investors felt they were going to have a good quarter, and they did. And then people just took in their profits. And the stock went down 25%. Let me know if there's another stock you want to look into. I think there's going to be another surge, a stock market surge. But the sell-off is good. It's the only way to get to fresh 52-week highs is when there's like when there's a pullback. I don't know if you guys. I just did a video on ICE. If you play sports, like especially when you start playing a sport, you get really good fast because you're starting to learn new things, and it's exciting. And then sometimes you go in a slump, like sometimes for a few months or maybe even a year, and you don't seem like you're improving at all. And sometimes you feel like you're getting worse. Like you're like, I used to hit home runs a lot. Now I can barely get a regular hit because you get in your head and you have to adapt. You have to figure it out. Maybe your body's changing, whatever it is. So to get to a new level, it's good. It's good for a pullback. People take in their profits. The stock goes down, and then a new bunch of people jump into it and drive the price higher. You have to buy good companies. You can't buy like these crappy stocks. They just go down. Like the Russell 2000 is a small cap index. And if you compare it to the S&P 500, S&P 500 are the best companies in the world. 500 big U.S. companies. And I'll show you what I mean. So this started, the Russell 2000 started in August 2017. And you'll definitely find some gems in these stocks. What the fuck? So since the Russell started, it's up 46% since 2017. It's it's like a 5% return because you have to compound it, right? And the S&P 500 is up 116%. So you would have more than doubled, way more than doubled by putting the S&P than in the Russell. And even if you go, so this is 7 years. So if you go 5 years, S&P is up 82%, Russell's 36%. Let's go 2 years. S&P 29%, Russell in 2 years it's only up 8%. The past year, Russell's up 6%, S&P. It was only in the past 3 months. No, not even. In the past month, Russell's up 1.5%. S&P is down 3%. So if you invest in these small cap stocks, it's a big risk. Unless you somehow pick the gem in there, but you have to sit on it for like 20 years. And then 20 years later, most of the time, you just wasted your time and money because it doesn't go anywhere. Yeah, I just did a video on ICE. Did you see it? I just posted it, right? So ICE, Intercontinental Exchange. So these stocks make money by allowing other stocks to trade on that platform. Like you can buy the NASDAQ stock. See, yeah, ICE has 6 clearinghouses, all around the world. It has the futures exchanges, the life exchanges. That's the London International Futures. So I guess it's just mainly derivatives. So it's if you wanted to invest in the NASDAQ or the S&P, those companies support like equities, like Microsoft, Apple, but ICE is derivatives. So it's interest rate hedges. It also does currencies too. But derivative trading on all different types of stocks, futures, things like that. But I think it's a good investment. It's trading at all-time high, unfortunately. GWW equals S&P 500. Oh, WW Granger, yeah. That's a good company. WW Granger. Yeah, they sell they manufacture operates high-tech solution, endless assortment, company price, safety, security, handling, cleaning, maintenance. Let's see. A lot of these stocks, tend to be overvalued lately. Yeah, most stocks, the market is pretty efficient, like the EMH, efficient market hypothesis. So most stocks trade at intrinsic value or close to it. And if there's any arbitrage opportunities, like a stock is trading a lot lower or a lot higher than it should be, it tends to adjust. The adjustment can take a long time, though. Like you see, so it broke through 1,000 recently, but just last year was 700, and that's where I think it should be. around 700. But the market probably will adjust down. So unless sales go up a ton, I could see this. If you bought it now, I could see it being another 2-3 years till you see a good return. But if you have a 10 plus year time horizon, it's a good stock. If you pick a good company and you have at least 10 years to wait it out, you should make good money. Yeah, it's crazy, right? Look, it was trading in the 200s. But yeah, even during COVID, so even pre-COVID, it didn't even come down that much during COVID. It's not like it was trading at like 400 and then it came down to 200. So it came down like maybe 10% the most when COVID hit. So pre-COVID, yeah, 2018 it was 350. So I guess it was, but that was way before COVID in 2018. It was coming down up until COVID happened, and then it didn't really drop much. It was just undervalued, I think, for a while. And then it finally had a nice run up. But if you look at a lot of stocks, like a crappy stock is like Peloton. So pre-COVID, it was $20, and then it had that COVID surge to 150. But it should have never been that high. So it comes down. So it came down. But if it was a really good company, it would come back up, like Grainger. Grainger kept going up. It's just not a good stock, not a good company. It's probably going to go bankrupt. It's kind of like if a car is $10,000, like if the Kelly Blue Book value is $10,000, and you find a sucker to give you 15 because they don't look at it, then it's not like the value of the car in the open market's 15 now. It's not like somebody else will pay 15 for it. He just made a bad decision. Emergency stream? Sure, I don't know. I'll be at work though, but what do you mean? Like if the market goes down like 20% in one day? Usually a market crash is kind of like, it doesn't happen right away. It's kind of like a slow burn. Because what was the big crash? 87? It was October 87, right? Doesn't go back that far. Okay, the Dow. Maybe the Dow I'll do. Intel is going to get kicked out of the Dow, right? It's so it's one of the 30 Dow stocks. It's hard to find a chart. This is a month. These are monthly. I want to get like a daily. I don't think I could do it. But if you notice, like, there have been a day or two where a stock market went down like 20%. Biggest one day. It was October 19th, 1987. Went down 23% in that day. So that was the biggest percent drop ever. I guess that's it. So the biggest drop ever was 87. The second biggest was March 2020, 13%. March 12th, 2020, a few days before this, was 10%. 2008 was 8%. 30% down. That would be a new record. The biggest gain in one day. Wow, the market went up 2,000 points in one day. March 24th, 2020. There must have been some millionaires in just that one day. Some people turned into millionaires. But it's kind of like when companies go bankrupt. You know, if there's like so there's 20 companies in one industry. like say there's 20 companies in industry, and like the biggest company has 25% market share, and 22, 20, 15, 14. Because now the competitors can pick up market share. They may be able to pick up the assets of this company at a discount. Also, maybe they have some good employees, key employees that go to these companies. It's kind of like if a company's just not doing a good job, making mistakes, they're inefficient, you kind of weed out the garbage. And then the good companies, the solid companies, kind of like a sports team. If there's 10 players on a team and there's a couple of players just are kind of pulling the team behind, they make a lot of errors, mistakes. Eventually, those players get cut, and then the cream rises to the top. So it's not bad when a company or two companies goes bankrupt, because those companies are probably not doing a good job to begin with, and that's why they went bankrupt. And then at some point, you just have really well-capitalized companies. Like Amazon is around because they did a good job. They had a good product and service. And now they're very profitable, which makes the U.S. economy really strong because they're part of the U.S. economy. Can you take a look at KNSL? It's a lot, three tickers. Oh, Kinsale, yeah, I saw them once. Insurance. Are these insurance companies? It's hard to look at insurance companies. Really good growth, revenue growth. Yeah. Now, insurance companies are kind of tricky. Kinsale. It's a really high price to book. I wonder why it's so high, 8.29. $10 billion market cap. Okay, kind of losing steam here. This takes forever. God. Okay, I guess I'll end it here. This is kind of getting tired. I get something to eat. Yeah, thanks for joining. Thanks for commenting. Some interesting stuff. Buy the dips. I see a lot of discounts, a lot of sales happening. Hope for a crash so we can pick up some cheap stocks. Okay, I'll talk to you later.